Welcome to Shad Life. I am here today on the low side. Summer is coming to an end here soon. As you can see, there's leaves already on the ground. I don't really see any color changing in the trees yet. Well, I guess you can start to see a little bit there, but yeah, fall is on its way. And then hopefully we'll have a winter this winter and I can get out on the fat bike more, because I feel like I haven't been able to get out on the fat bike much the last few years. So but yeah, the low side single speed. I know there's some of you that follow me on my channel because of this bike, and I still have it. I can't remember how long it's been, 5 years, 4 years, something like that. But yeah, I love this bike and I'm keeping it. So I'll talk a little bit about single speeding and kind of techniques and what it's like out there on the trail. So I did a short just less than a week ago talking about this bike because I rode it at Lone Lake Park, super hilly trail, and a few comments mainly about the tires, and that I'm running these pretty aggressive tires, plus size 2.8 on a single speed. This bike came with 27.5 by 2.8 tires. All right, let's do this feature up here. And the nice thing about these tires is they have tons of traction. So yeah, I love plus size tires. They give you can run a little bit lower pressure, they give you tons of traction, and no, they're not the fastest tires out there, but they work really good in this application. So that's why I run them. And these, even though they're 2.8s, they're not super heavy. They're still relatively lightweight tires. And what's cool about single speeding is you gotta stand and use technique more, and that use technique more, and that just improves your skill massively. So by keeping the momentum, you know, you learn that that's key to getting through stuff. Like if you stall out on a single speed, there's no real getting out of it easily. So we're gonna go through the dump loop here, and I'll probably be standing pretty much the whole time because this trail is relatively technical, right? And get through here. I mean, I love doing this stuff on a single speed. Yeah. You don't have gears to bail you out if you stall out. You don't have suspension, all that stuff doing the work for you. So you learn to use your body. You learn to move the bike around. You learn to unweight the front wheel and the back wheel and pump and push through stuff, all of that. And for climbing, you want to keep your momentum. just like this. Standing gets your skill super dialed. So now we're here, the rock armor climb. I've done this many times on my channel. This year I've had a really good success rate, but I haven't done it this year on a single speed yet. So will my success rate continue? We're about to find out. All right, well, here we go. Oh, I got caught up here. I was so hoping I'd get it on my first try. I went too far to the inside. Let's try again. Alright, I'm gonna go into it with a little more momentum and stay to the outside. Here we go. Wow. Wow. Okay, that's a bad line. So this is really gonna have to take some power up at the top. Whew, I just have to be ready for it. All right, here we go. Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted. Took me 3 tries to get up that thing. Oh well, I got up it. It is interesting because at the top, because I'm on a single speed, and I talked about stalling out, you kind of start to stall out at the top, and you really have to just power through. Hi. Hi. And just commit to that power to get through it. And of course, the one where I was committed, my front wheel slid out and I almost ate it. So I remember in like the late 90s, I went to, I think it was Interbike, and if you don't know what that is, it's like a big bike show where all the bike companies come, and it was like dealer only invite. Of course, I was working at Twin City BMX at the time, and I remember seeing single speed mountain bikes and just being like, what in the world? Who would ever do that? I remember just being totally shocked. Like, that's crazy, right? Well, by the early 2000s, I had this Schwinn Moab, and for some reason, I don't know, I started to really get hardcore into mountain biking again, like more gnarly riding, jumping, things like that. And I was coming off of like having raced BMX and ridden BMX and all that for so many years, and I kept destroying the derailleur, and I also ripped the hanger off a couple times and had to order one and wait and blah blah blah, right? Like, super frustrating. And so at the time I had just purchased a Specialized P2, which was a dirt jump bike, but it had gears, which was kind of weird. But it did have horizontal slotted dropouts, and I remember being like, why do I want gears on a dirt jump bike? So I took the gears off, and since it had the slotted dropouts, I could take the slack out of the chain, and so that was a single speed. And one day I'm like, screw it, my geared bike is out of commission because I'm waiting on the derailleur hanger. So I went and rode that and loved it. I was like, this is like riding a big BMX bike, was what was in my head. And it was like that kind of more pure feeling. And when it came to climbing and all that stuff, that was a little more challenging, but I was able to do it, and I was like super impressed. And since on the BMX bike you're always standing and climbing and powering when you need to, just was natural for me. It was just normal to do that. So I made the switch. I went hardcore single speeder for like 8 or 9 years there. So I had a Redline monocog 26-inch wheel version. I think they made a 29-inch wheel version at the time too. And my partner had a Raleigh, it was an XX or something like that. It was like a single speed 29er. And I rode her bike sometimes. And then I got a Surly 1x1 later. And this was all after I had owned my On One inbred for like 7 years straight. So by the time I went back to gears, man, I want to say there's quite a few puddles out here today. I want to say it was 2010, 2011. So I went, like I said, 8 or 9 years pure single speed. I rode all over the place. I rode Whistler, my fully rigid On One inbred. Yeah. You know, now I like riding a little bit of everything, right? And it's fun getting back on my Lowside and riding the single speed and just having all those memories of like, and just that like total purest feeling. It's super cool. I don't have to think about shifting, what gear I'm in, any of that stuff. Don't have to worry about suspension settings or whatever. I just ride. That's just like, there's something about it where my head is clear and all I am doing is focusing on riding. And there's something really wonderful about that. And single speeding fell out of popularity. It was super popular for a while, but I really hope it sticks around, comes back, and more manufacturers get back into building bikes, especially with modern geometry. Like this Lowside is like so awesome, like modern geometry, just sweet. feel like at a time when the bike industry is struggling, I've talked about this before, you know, coming back to this kind of purist, simplistic mindset is a good way to go about it, and it's affordable. Like, you don't have all these expensive parts. Bikes are much simpler. I feel like you could easily get a nice high quality, especially with a rigid fork, single speed for $1,000, $1,500. I know they still make the Surly Karate Monkey. I think that's like more expensive than I feel like it should be. I think they're like $18.99 or something like that with a rigid fork. So when I'm riding this bike, you know, I'm not going for fast lap times. I'm not going for, you know, the most gnar, anything like that. I'm just going for pure fun. And that's what it is. Like, riding a single speed is just fun, regardless of how fast you go. And when you get to things that are too challenging to climb, which is possible, you just walk up it and be okay with that, right? Because all the rest of your ride is such a blast and simplistic. I really encourage anybody to try single speed. Like, I think it's just one of those bikes you should have in your stable and ride once in a while and just enjoy the fuck out of it, because that's what I do every time I'm riding this bike. Puts a smile on my face. The geometry really helps because it's super poppy and agile and fun in that sense, but the purist aspect of it is also fun. Appreciate your support from my channel. Please like and subscribe. Peace.